The big question is the Biden administration. I know that you've been talking lately about whether or not Biden should hang it up, whether or not he should resign. What do you think about that prospect?
Well, he should resign. On the No Spin News, what we do every night on BillO'Reilly.com is we do analysis and opinion, but it's fact-based. So first we give you the facts, and the Biden administration is a disaster. There's no two sides to that story, unless you believe that Putin is responsible for the open border and the violent crime surge and inflation and all that. If you believe that, then okay. But if you are a sane person, the Biden administration is failing. So to your question, Vince, I said this week on the No Spin News, look, Joe Biden is not going to get any better. He's 80 in November. His policies have failed across the board. And if you don't believe that, please, and I have millions of people watching and listening to me on the radio, please send me one thing, just one, that Joe Biden has improved in this country in 18 months that he's been in the Oval Office. All I want is one. Send it to me. Of course, I got none. Zero. Now, you're talking about an audience that's not ideological, because the No Spin News goes out on radio on a variety of different stations across the country, and we're worldwide. We go worldwide. So you got to figure that there's somebody in there who likes Biden. Okay, so I got nothing out of it. And if your audience has something, it's bill@BillO'Reilly.com, bill@BillO'Reilly.com. Tell me, I want to know. So let's assume that he hasn't done anything that has benefited the nation. Let's assume that for the sake of argument. Then how can the man run again for president in 24? He can't, and he won't.
Yeah.
Right? So
Jason, I wonder if you could answer Bill's question. Jason's our friend on the left. Do you have a sense that there's something that Joe has improved? And what are your feelings, Jason, on Biden running again in 24?
So the first question, or the second question first. First of all, I just want to say thank you, Bill, for coming on. And one of the things that I will give you props for is that you broke a lot of careers in news, including some people that I really admire, like Mark Lamont Hill, Jason Johnson. They all appeared on your show, and I think that's pretty cool. But I first of all, him in 2024, that's a difficult question. I don't see any real alternatives out there on the left, unless we really rally around somebody who's an unknown, like, maybe like a Ruben Gallegos or someone like that. I'm not so sure that you have a better option out there, certainly not Kamala Harris, who is going to be more popular than Joe Biden, that can give us a win. The only thing that I can honestly say is that I think the best gift that the right can give the Democrats if they run Biden in 2024 is if the right runs Trump. I think they're better off running someone like DeSantis than running Trump, because the left gets excited about Trump. They get energized. They'll come out for Trump. They probably won't do that for DeSantis, and lower participation means that Republicans win. But the other part, as far as things that Biden has accomplished, of course, we could talk about adding 7 million jobs. We can talk about lowest child poverty on record. We can talk about getting us to 3.6% unemployment. Now, inflation, of course, we can talk about inflation. We can talk about gas prices. But you know what gas prices, the average is in England right now? It's $9 a gallon. Joe Biden didn't fly to England and create the gas prices over there. And again,
let me just, because you're going to get so much, the audience is not going to be able to follow it.
All right. So go ahead, Bill.
Number one, you're right about the Democrats not having anyone. Okay. But in November, it is likely 75% that the Republicans will win the House and the Senate. Okay. Sure. And this is the Cook report. This is an O'Reilly. So once that happens, the Biden administration is through. They'll never get anything passed. And if he signs an executive order, it'll be immediately challenged in federal court. So he sits there literally doing nothing for 2 years, which might be a good thing, but it's not a good thing for the Democratic Party. So at that point, David Axelrod has already made noise about this, and the other real prestigious Democrats are going to say, Joe, for the sake of the nation and the party, particularly the party, please resign. Kamala will be a placeholder. She'll come in, be a placeholder. And what they're going to say is Joe Biden resigns over health reasons. That will be the reason. Okay, you'll see it. Because the Democratic Party can't go into 24 with Biden as the incumbent, because he's not going to get any better. And the country's anger at him is now reached almost historical levels. Now, your stats. 7 million jobs created is a bogus stat. And you should know this, Jason. You're a smart guy. You're a PhD. Okay? 7 million starts when COVID shut down the entire economy. Okay? So you're starting from nothing, and then you build back to what was the employment rate under Trump. So actually, under Trump, wages for the American worker, for minorities in particular, were higher than they are now. All right? So the worker, the American person who gets up, wants the best for his family, is doing worse under Biden than under Trump. And that's not in dispute on any economic plane.